The power of inviting God into your difficult times lies in understanding that no challenge is greater than his ability to transform it. Life will inevitably present trials that shake your foundation. Moments where the walls around you seem to crumble. These are not moments to despair. They are moments to call upon the one who holds the keys to your breakthrough. His courage. And when storms rage and darkness covers your path, it is human to feel overwhelmed, but it is divine to reach beyond yourself and surrender to God. Inviting him into your struggles is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate demonstration of wisdom. You recognize that your strength is limited, but his power is infinite. He is the architect of the universe, the one who formed you in your mother's womb, and the one who knows the end from the beginning. There is nothing hidden from him, no challenge too great and no sorrow too deep that he cannot turn it into joy. God does not promise a life without difficulties, but he does promise his presence. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. This is the assurance that in your hardest moments, you are not alone. When you invite him in, you activate his power. You give him permission to take the mess of your situation and turn it into a masterpiece. The obstacles you face may seem insurmountable, but they are stepping stones for his purpose to be revealed in your life. Faith is the currency of the kingdom. And when you invite God into your trials, you declare that your trust is not in your circumstances, but in his sovereignty. You shift your focus from the problem to the provider. You stop magnifying your pain and start magnifying his name. In doing so, you align yourself with his plans, which are always greater than anything you could imagine. His ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Your pain has a purpose, and your struggle has significance. When you invite God into your difficult times, you are placing your life in the hands of the master potter. He takes the broken pieces and molds them into something beautiful. What the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for good. Your trials become testimonies, and your scars become stories of his grace and mercy. You may be pressed on every side, but you will not be crushed. You may be perplexed, but you will not be in despair. This is the promise of those who invite him into their lives. Trust him in the fire, for it is in the fire that gold is refined. Trust him in the valley, for it is in the valley that he restores your soul. Trust him in the storm, for it is in the storm that he teaches you to walk on water. God's power is perfected in your weakness. When you feel like you cannot take another step, that is the moment his strength will carry you. Invite him into your pain, your fear, and your confusion. Do not try to fight the battles of life on your own. The battles are not yours, they are the Lord's. When you call upon him, you engage heaven's armies to fight on your behalf. You open the door for his peace, which surpasses all understanding, to guard your heart and mind. Take away the pain and the temptation, and they will leave their heart. The world may try to convince you that you're alone in your struggles, but that is a lie. The truth is that God is waiting, ready to step into your situation the moment you invite him. He will not force his way in because he respects the free will he has given you. But when you open the door, he will come in and make all things new. He will restore what was lost, heal what was broken, and strengthen what was weak. In difficult times, the greatest act of faith is to trust in God's goodness and invite Him to take control. When you do, you will discover that He is not only the God of the mountaintop, but also the God of the valley. He is with you, for you, and working all things together for your good. Let Him in and watch how He transforms your darkest nights into mornings filled with His light. But this inviting God into your struggles assures you of His constant presence, a presence that transforms loneliness into comfort and despair into hope. In the midst of life's most challenging seasons, it is easy to feel abandoned or overlooked. The weight of difficulties can make you believe that you are walking alone through the valley of shadows. But the truth is that God is always near, waiting for you to call upon Him. His promise to never leave or forsake you is not just a comforting phrase. It is a declaration of His commitment to walk with you no matter how dark the path may seem. When you invite God into your difficult moments, you acknowledge His active role in your life. It is not about escaping the challenges, but about recognizing that His presence changes the way you face them. His presence brings assurance that you are not fighting on your own, and His strength becomes your source of endurance. In moments of deep sorrow or fear, His Spirit whispers words of encouragement and peace, reminding you that you are never outside of His care. God's presence does not always remove the storm, but it equips you to stand firm in the midst of it. It gives you a sense of peace that defies logic, a calm that steadies your heart even when the world around you feels chaotic. His presence carries the power to sustain you, guide you, and ultimately lead you to victory. The more you invite Him in, the more you realize that even in the valleys, you are never truly alone. God's presence is the anchor that holds you steady, the light that guides you forward, and the assurance that His plans for you remain good, even when circumstances seem otherwise. Examples should inspire you to pray and to expect the best. When you invite God into your challenges, you surrender your limited strength and activate His unlimited power to work on your behalf. Life struggles often remind us of our own limitations. No matter how capable, intelligent, or resourceful we may be, there are battles too great for human strength alone. In these moments, surrender is not a sign of defeat, but an act of wisdom and faith. By inviting God into your situation, you acknowledge that while you may be at the end of your resources, He is the source of all power and possibilities. Surrendering to God does not mean giving up. It means handing over control to the one who sees the bigger picture and knows the best path forward. It is an act of trust, a declaration that you believe His ways are higher than yours and that His strength is more than enough to carry you through. This surrender allows God to step in and do what you cannot. Move mountains, open doors, and bring solutions beyond human understanding. God's power is not just a distant force. It is a transformative presence that operates within your life. When you invite Him in, you allow His power to work through your weaknesses, turning them into strengths. The burdens you once struggled to carry alone become lighter because you are no longer relying on your own effort. His power gives you clarity where there was confusion, courage where there was fear, and hope where there was despair. This act of surrender also aligns your heart with His will. It frees you from the pressure of trying to control outcomes, and instead lets you rest in the assurance that God is in control. His power is not bound by time, resources, or circumstances. It is limitless. And when you make the choice to invite him into your difficulties, you open the door for miracles to unfold in ways you could never imagine. Turning to God in the midst of challenges shifts your focus from the magnitude of your problem to the greatness of his ability to transform it. When difficulties arise, the natural tendency is to fixate on the problem, analyzing every detail and contemplating worst-case scenarios. This focus on the challenge often amplifies feelings of fear, anxiety, and hopelessness. It can create the illusion that the problem is insurmountable, casting a shadow over everything else in your life. However, inviting God into the situation changes your perspective. When you look to God, your attention moves from the storm to the one who has the power to calm it. Instead of magnifying the difficulty, you begin to magnify his sovereignty, his love, and his promises. This perspective shift doesn't mean ignoring the reality of the situation. Rather, it means seeing it in the light of his ability to handle it. These problems that once seemed overwhelming become manageable when viewed through the lens of faith, because you are reminded that God is greater than any obstacle you face. Shifting your focus to God also realigns your priorities. You begin to see that the purpose of the challenge may be to deepen your trust in him, build your character, or prepare you for something greater. It allows you to move from a mindset of worry to one of worship, where instead of asking, why me, you begin to ask, what can I learn from this? Or how can this situation bring glory to God? This change in focus also brings clarity. The fog of fear and doubt begins to lift as you realize that you are not navigating the challenge alone. God's guidance becomes your compass, and his peace steadies your heart. When you stop dwelling on the problem and start dwelling on his promises, you open the door for solutions and breakthroughs that come not from your own efforts, but from his divine intervention. Trusting God in trials reveals the purpose behind the pain and allows him to use your struggles as a testimony of his faithfulness. Challenges are often perceived as interruptions or setbacks, but through the lens of faith, they are opportunities for growth, refinement, and transformation. When you invite God into your difficult moments, you begin to see that no pain is wasted in his hands. Every trial carries within it a purpose that goes beyond the immediate discomfort or suffering. Pain often forces you to pause and reflect. It exposes the areas of your life that need healing, growth, or alignment with God's will. In these moments of vulnerability, you have a choice: to view the pain as pointless or to trust that God is working through it for your good. This trust requires faith in his character and his promises. He does not allow trials without a reason, and his plans are always to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. When you allow God to guide you through the pain, he begins to reveal its purpose. Perhaps it is to strengthen your character, increase your resilience, or prepare you for a greater calling. Sometimes the purpose of your trial is not just about you. It may be about those who will be encouraged by your testimony. The story of how you overcame with God's help becomes a source of hope and inspiration for others who are walking through similar struggles. God's faithfulness shines brightest in the darkest moments. When you look back on seasons of pain and see how He carried you through, you realize that He was with you all along, orchestrating every detail for your ultimate benefit. The scars you bear from those trials become marks of victory, reminders that God's grace is sufficient and His power is made perfect in weakness. By trusting Him in your trials, you allow Him to transform your pain into purpose, your struggle into strength, and your story into a testament of His glory. This trust does not eliminate the pain, but it redeems it, giving it meaning and value that far outweigh the temporary suffering. In the hands of God, even the most challenging moments of your life become building blocks for a future filled with His promises and plans. Inviting God into your situation is a declaration of faith, affirming that you trust His sovereignty over the chaos in your life. Faith is not just the belief in the existence of God. It is confidence in His ability to act on your behalf, even when circumstances seem overwhelming. Difficult times test this faith, challenging you to look beyond what you can see and trust in what God has promised. When you invite Him into your struggles, you are making a bold statement that your hope is not in the temporary solutions of this world, but in the eternal power and wisdom of the Creator. This act of faith acknowledges that God is in control, even when life feels out of control. It is a choice to surrender your fears, doubts, and anxieties, believing that God's plans for you are good and that He is working all things together for your benefit. Faith does not deny the reality of your challenges. Instead, it declares that those challenges are subject to the authority of God. It shifts your reliance from your own limited understanding to His infinite wisdom. Inviting God into your struggles through faith opens the door for His power to manifest in your life. The Bible reminds us that faith, as small as a mustard seed, can move mountains. This means that even a small step of faith, such as calling on God in prayer or trusting Him in uncertainty, can lead to miraculous outcomes. Faith activates His promises, allowing His will to unfold in ways that surpass human comprehension. Faith also provides stability in the midst of chaos. When the storms of life rage, it is faith that anchors your soul, reminding you that God's sovereignty is greater than any storm. It enables you to rest in His promises, knowing that He sees the end from the beginning and is already preparing a way through your challenges. This trust in His sovereignty frees you from the need to control every outcome, allowing you to focus on His presence and guidance. Choosing to invite God through faith transforms how you perceive your difficulties. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable obstacles, you begin to view them as opportunities for God to demonstrate His power and faithfulness. Your declaration of faith becomes a bridge between your struggles and His solutions, ensuring that no matter how overwhelming the circumstances, you are never without hope. When you invite God into your struggles, He brings clarity and wisdom that help you make decisions aligned with His purpose for your life. Challenges often create confusion, making it difficult to see the best path forward. Fear, anxiety, and pressure can cloud your judgment, leading to impulsive or misguided choices. But when you turn to God and invite Him into your situation, He illuminates the way with His divine wisdom, offering guidance that surpasses human understanding. God's wisdom is not limited by the complexity of your circumstances. He knows every detail, every potential outcome, and every hidden factor that you cannot see. When you seek his counsel, whether through prayer, scripture, or quiet reflection, he begins to reveal insights that bring clarity to your situation. His wisdom provides perspective, helping you understand not only what you are facing, but also why it may be part of his greater plan for your life. This clarity often comes in unexpected ways. It might be a sudden sense of peace about a decision, a word of encouragement from someone, or a new understanding of a scripture passage that speaks directly to your heart. God's guidance is both practical and profound, giving you the confidence to take steps forward even when the path is uncertain. He does not always show you the entire journey, but he gives you enough light to take the next step, assuring you that he is with you every step of the way. Inviting God into your decisions also aligns your choices with his purpose. Rather than acting out of fear, desperation, or self-interest, you begin to operate from a place of trust and obedience. His wisdom helps you discern what is truly best, not just what seems best in the moment. It protects you from making choices that could lead to regret or further difficulty, steering you toward outcomes that bring peace and fulfillment. Steering you toward outcomes that bring peace and fulfillment. As you rely on God's wisdom, you also grow in your ability to trust him. Each decision made in alignment with his guidance builds your faith, reinforcing the truth that his ways are higher than your ways and his thoughts higher than your thoughts. Over time, you come to see that even the most challenging decisions, when placed in his hands, lead to blessings and breakthroughs that you could not have achieved on your own. When you invite God into your struggles, he replaces fear with peace, allowing you to navigate challenges with a calm heart and a steady mind. Fear often arises in the face of uncertainty, feeding on doubts, worst-case scenarios, and the overwhelming sense of helplessness. It paralyzes your ability to think clearly, make decisions, or find hope. But when you turn to God, in the midst of fear, he offers a peace that surpasses all understanding, a calm that is not dependent on circumstances, but rooted in his unchanging presence and promises. This peace comes from knowing that you are not alone in your struggles. God's presence becomes a source of comfort, reminding you that he is with you every step of the way. He walks with you through the storm, not as a distant observer, but as a loving guide and protector. His presence assures you that no matter how dark or uncertain the situation, you are under the care of the one who holds all things in his hands. God's peace also silences the voice of fear by reminding you of his faithfulness. He has been faithful in the past, and he will be faithful again. Reflecting on his promises and his track record of deliverance can shift your focus from the problem to his ability to solve it. Fear begins to lose its grip as you place your trust in the one who has already overcome every obstacle you will ever face. This divine peace strengthens you to face challenges with courage. It does not mean the absence of trouble, but the presence of stability and assurance in the midst of it. With God's peace, you can confront even the most difficult circumstances without being overwhelmed. It anchors your heart, allowing you to make decisions, take action, and move forward with confidence, knowing that you are not walking alone. As you invite God into your struggles, this peace becomes a powerful testimony, Others will notice the calm and steadiness with which you navigate trials and wonder about its source. Your life becomes the reflection of God's sustaining power, showing that true peace is not found in the absence of difficulty, but in the presence of God. His peace enables you to rise above fear and face life's challenges with a heart full of hope and trust. When you invite God into your struggles, He strengthens you in your weakness, enabling you to endure and overcome challenges that would otherwise seem impossible. Life's difficulties often expose your limitations, revealing how inadequate your own strength can be in the face of overwhelming circumstances. These moments of weakness can feel discouraging, leaving you drained emotionally, physically, and spiritually. But when you turn to God and lean on Him, He becomes the source of a strength that goes far beyond your own. And I give the F, God's strength is made perfect in weakness. He does not expect you to handle everything on your own. Instead, He invites you to rely on Him fully. This reliance is not a sign of failure, but an acknowledgement that His power is greater than any challenge you face. By admitting your need for Him, you open the door for His strength to fill the gaps where your own efforts fall short. This divine strength often manifests in surprising ways. It could be the energy to keep going when you feel like giving up, the courage to face a daunting situation, or the patience to endure a prolonged season of difficulty. God equips you with what you need, not always by removing the struggle, but by giving you the resilience to persevere through it. His strength becomes a wellspring that renews you daily, ensuring that you are never left to face your challenges alone. Leaning on God's strength also shifts your perspective on your limitations. Instead of viewing them as obstacles, you begin to see them as opportunities for His power to be revealed. Your inability becomes the platform for His ability, and your weakness becomes the stage for His glory. This perspective transforms the way you approach trials, replacing despair with a sense of purpose and hope. As God strengthens you, He also refines your character. Endurance produces perseverance, and perseverance builds faith. Each challenge you overcome with His help becomes a testament to His faithfulness and a reminder of your dependence on Him. Over time, you develop a deeper trust in His provision and a greater confidence in His ability to sustain you, no matter what comes your way. The strength God provides not only carries you through your own struggles, but also positions you to help others. As you experience His sustaining power, you become a source of encouragement to those around you, showing them that they too can find strength in Him. In your moments of greatest weakness, God's strength shines brightest, proving that His power is more than enough to see you through. When you invite God into your struggles, He transforms your pain into purpose, using your challenges to bring about growth, meaning, and impact. Pain, while difficult, is often the birthplace of transformation. It forces you to confront your limitations, reevaluate your priorities, and seek answers beyond your own understanding. Yet when pain is surrendered to God, it becomes more than just an experience of suffering. It becomes a tool in His hands to shape your destiny. God does not waste pain. Every tear, every moment of heartache, and every trial you endure carries the potential to serve a greater purpose when entrusted to Him. He takes the broken pieces of your life and weaves them into a story of redemption and growth. Your struggles, which may feel meaningless or overwhelming in the moment, are often the very things he uses to prepare you for the next chapter of your journey. They refine your character, strengthen your faith, and equip you with the wisdom and empathy needed to fulfill his plan for your life. Through your pain, God teaches you lessons that can only be learned in the crucible of difficulty. You begin to understand the depth of his grace, the power of his love, and the faithfulness of his promises. These lessons not only deepen your relationship with him, but also prepare you to step into your purpose with a renewed sense of clarity and conviction. The experiences you endure become the foundation for your testimony, a story of hope and resilience that can inspire and uplift others. Pain also expands your capacity for compassion and understanding. Having walked through hardship yourself, you become uniquely positioned to empathize with and support others who are facing similar challenges. Your struggles give you a voice of authenticity and authority, enabling you to minister to others in ways that are deeply impactful. God uses your pain to create connections, turning your wounds into a source of healing for those around you. Moreover, pain often redirects your focus, helping you align your life with God's purpose. It can strip away distractions, revealing what truly matters and guiding you toward the path he has prepared for you. What once seemed like a setback becomes a setup for something greater, a new opportunity, a deeper calling, or a renewed sense of mission. In God's hands, even the most difficult seasons of life can bear fruit that extends far beyond what you could have imagined. Inviting God into your pain allows him to bring beauty out of ashes. He takes what was meant for harm and turns it into something good, not only for your benefit, but also for his glory. Your journey through hardship becomes a testament to his transformative power, showing the world that no pain is too great for him to redeem and no struggle too deep for him to use. Through him, your pain finds purpose and your life becomes a beacon of hope and restoration. When you invite God into your struggles, he turns what seems like defeat into victory, transforming situations that appear hopeless into triumphs that glorify his name. Life's challenges often bring moments when you feel as though the weight of circumstances is too great to bear. The setbacks, failures, and disappointments can leave you feeling defeated, as though your story is over. But when you allow God to step into the midst of your struggle, he changes the narrative entirely, showing that what looks like the end is often the beginning of something far greater. Number one, God specializes in turning impossible situations around. Throughout history, he has demonstrated his power to bring victory out of the most dire circumstances. Whether it was parting the Red Sea, delivering David from Goliath, or raising Lazarus from the dead, he has shown time and again that no obstacle is too great and no defeat is final when his hand is involved. The same God who performed those miracles is able to work in your life today, taking your trials and using them as stepping stones toward triumph. As God turns your defeats into victories, your life becomes a living testimony of his power and faithfulness. The victories you experience are not just for your benefit, but also for his glory. They serve as evidence to those around you that God is real, active, and deeply invested in the lives of his children. Your story of triumph becomes a source of encouragement and inspiration, showing others that no situation is beyond his ability to redeem. Through God, what was intended for your defeat becomes a platform for your greatest victories. He does not just restore what was lost, he multiplies it, giving you blessings that surpass your expectations. In his hands, your struggles are transformed into triumphs, and your life becomes a powerful demonstration of his ability to bring good out of even the most challenging circumstances. In every struggle, God's presence offers hope, strength, and transformation. He takes what seems broken, weak, and defeated and turns it into a testimony of his power and faithfulness. By inviting him into your difficult times, you allow his peace to replace fear, his wisdom to guide your steps, and his strength to sustain you. Your pain becomes a platform for purpose, and your trials become opportunities for his glory to shine through. Trusting him through every challenge ensures that your life reflects his unwavering love and divine ability to bring victory out of adversity. That's no small feat, let's say. Life's struggles are inevitable, but when you invite God into those moments, you unlock a transformative power that transcends human understanding. He does not promise a life free of difficulties, but he assures you of his constant presence and his ability to turn every trial into a stepping stone towards something greater. In his hands, your challenges are not wasted. They become the very tools he uses to shape your character, strengthen your faith, and prepare you for a higher purpose. By inviting God into your struggles, you are choosing to surrender your fears and limitations to the one who knows no bounds. His peace calms the storm within. His wisdom illuminates the path ahead, and his strength carries you when your own is not enough. He transforms your pain into a testimony of resilience and faith, making your life a living example of his redemptive power. The defeats you face are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of a divine plan that reveals his glory in ways you never imagined. When you allow God to work in your struggles, you align yourself with his purpose. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable, not because the challenge disappears, but because you are no longer facing it alone. His power equips you to rise above circumstances, giving you the courage to keep moving forward and the confidence to believe in the victory he has already secured for you. Each trial becomes an opportunity to experience his faithfulness, deepening your trust in him and preparing you for even greater blessings. Your journey through life's difficulties with God by your side becomes a light for others. They see his strength in your perseverance, his wisdom in your decisions, and his love in your unwavering hope. Your struggles, once a source of pain, are transformed into a testimony that inspires and uplifts those around you, pointing them toward the same God who brought you through. In this way, your life becomes a beacon of hope and a reflection of his glory. Ultimately, inviting God into your struggles is an act of faith that reshapes your entire perspective. It reminds you that no matter how dark or challenging the situation, you are never without hope. With him, every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every pain has a purpose, and every defeat holds the promise of victory. Trusting him in your struggles allows his power to work in and through you, turning every challenge into a demonstration of his grace, love, and faithfulness.